Well, hey everybody. Thanks for coming and joining in today for this little Zoom to remember our dear friend Ivar, who left us so suddenly. And hmm, my pleasure there, GP. Hey Valentine. Again, I don't know if you all saw it in the chat, but if you would like to say something, this is set up as a webinar, so I kind of have to turn your camera and microphone on. So if you'd like to say something, just either hit the raise hand icon or just put it in the chat. I'll try to keep up. Um, and hey Sinan and Nicholas, Jorge, Ken, thanks everybody for coming on today. It's I said it in I think in the post or into to a bunch of people that I spoke to since hearing about Ivar's passing that if there wasn't a pandemic going on, we would all get together in a bar and we would toast our friend, and we would tell stories and we would try to make each other laugh and remember just what a wonderful guy Ivar was. I know he's simultaneously smiling down right now from wherever he is, and also really pissed at me that I forgot to change the brightness on my monitor back here. He's overexposed. I'm sure he would not want it that way. Let's see if we can bring Ivar into focus here. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, GP. I should be using croc exposure for this. It's probably one of the tools that I'm sure that there are so many. Well, sorry, Ivar. You know what? I'll get a better TV and we'll name it after you. Um, I'll uh, I'll get the party started here. You know, I remember the very first time I met Ivar. Of course, we all knew him from, at least here in the States, we knew him from Logic, from the guy who, in the beginning, knew everything about luster, you know, and color grading, and was really passionate about color grading dailies. At least he would reach out to me and say these things. And then kind of everything, went into full swing with Ivar um, when Matchbox came around. And I did some digging on Logic Facebook, and I found, let me see if I have it here. Yes, I found, like, you can go and search all the old posts, and I found one called, here you go. This is from December 7th, 2013. Ivar, he probably hadn't slept in several days. And with loud, music blaring, thanking Jay and Julik and Eric and Cedric for helping him convert his first GSL shader to a Matchbox one. Exciting times ahead, and that's certainly like the understatement of the Logic community. Um, I just like I said, I remember the first time I met Ivar face to face. It was at one of the NAB gatherings. You guys remember gatherings? It was at NAB one year, and our he flew in from Berlin, and I was coming from New York, and our planes coincidentally like landed at the Las Vegas airport rather like at the same time, and we planned to meet in baggage claim, and for those of you who have never been. And shame on you for never going to Las Vegas. But for those of you who've never been to the baggage claim at the McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas, it's like many football fields of just like luggage belt after luggage belt after luggage belt. And so, um, and this is in the dark ages. It was like 2014 or something. So in terms of like Ivar is pre WhatsApp, I think. So in terms of us being able to find each other, hold on, let me see if I can do this here. Yes. Oh, well, we'll just do it the simple way here. Let me share. Let me just bring all these up. I got a bunch of them here. I'm walking around the baggage claim there, and I run into this, like literally the tallest guy I think I've ever met. Um, where is it here? Okay, and of course, he's he's 5,000 times happier than anybody who just like flew from Europe on that, like whatever it is, 12 or 13 hour flight. uh he's the happiest dude in the world. It was like it was like it was like Moses parting the Red Sea. Like all these people just parted, and in walks this guy, of course, with like the Stussy garb on, which to this day I don't really know what it is. I just always associated it with Ivar. But right, right, Quinn. Like, of course, it was. It was with the Stussy shirt, and we like embraced. It was the biggest hug, like a big bear hug, from Ivar, as though we had been friends for 1,000 years, and and then we shared a cab, uh, and just started to talk. Shared, kept our respective hotels. We just started to talk to try to get to know each other, and I remember like he told me he grew up on the east side of Berlin, and I'm sitting there in the cab like saying to myself, well, this is really an amazing opportunity. I've never met anybody who actually lived like under communism, and what that was like, and was it anything like how Hollywood movies depicted it and things like that. And so I asked him. I was like, so Ivar, what was it like to grow up in East Berlin before the wall came down? What was it like? And without even like missing a beat, he said, well, and I'm sorry, Ivar, I can't do a good Ivar. I'll do my best. But he was like, well, um, we had better parties on the east side, and everybody knew that. And so people from the west side would come over to the east side just to come to our great parties. And that's basically what it was like. And that was it. That was my, the entirety of like 60 years of world history, condensed into one utterly brilliant and perfectly beautiful Ivar moment. And I dropped him off at his hotel. I went to mine, and we rendezvoused and throughout the week there, and had a wonderful time. I found um, a few more things to share. Um, let's see. They are here. You go. Well, we'll go back to Logic. Uh, how many of these posts did we all see? Right, the weekend ones. This was like the greatest notification of all time. Was that there'd be a new shader coming from Ivar. It seemed like, yep, right, GP. It seemed like every week there was something new, and they were amazing. I mean, I don't know how many of you have made it through all of the matchbook shaders, like all the Croc shaders. I mean, I use them every day. I used Croc Beauty and Croc Depth of Field um, Friday. I mean, as recently as Friday. And one thing that I don't know how many of you are aware of this. Just speaking of like all the shaders, um, Ivar, one year, it was for one of the like the New York Flame user group meetings. I think it was when we were doing one frame of white. Um, I asked him if he wanted to help with like an invitation, like, or making like a logo or a graphic or something. He was always like churning out the Logic logos at the top of the Facebook group, and like I made one of his the cover page or the cover image the other day, the pencil sketch one. He was always making those, and I was like, hey Ivar, would you mind making one of these for us? And Ivar went in like the most Ivar of Ivar ways. He went up, he went really above and beyond, um, and he made a shader. Like Ivar would make custom Matchbox shaders for user group meetings. I don't think I shared this properly. Let me see. Well, we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Can you guys see the QuickTime movie? Probably not, right? No. Okay. Well, some things never change, right? Here, let me do it this way. Um, these were amazing, and I almost think like he took these as his like opportunity to just go crazy. I mean, show of hands, how many people used like the Mandelbrot, croc shaders that he used like in production. But Ivar just took it in on himself, like to just go crazy with these. Yeah, Quinn, exactly. It was like Ivar fun time. Um, hold on, wait. Let me. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Sinan. I could just share the desktop somehow, right? Of course, now it's not letting me share the desktop. I bet you that is a lovely new security feature of Zoom. Um, let's see. Well, I'm not going to force you all to endure my endless fights with Zoom. Here, I'll show a couple more of these. Um, this was one, I think, for Toronto. And it always like reflected whatever I guess the latest like crop thing was. In this case, it was smoke. Um, he did one. I must have it in here for us. Yes, for One Frame of White. This was the one that blew my mind. All of a sudden, he's like, "Hey, can you send me the copy from your invitation as like a PNG with an alpha or something?" So I sent him all this, and of course, what do I get back? But like the sea and the sky, you know, and everything. And I just want to give a shout out to Greg Paul Malone. It's been 8 seconds since this image came up that said "event will be streamed live," and you haven't reminded me yet of the complete technical disaster that was the live stream from that. So, and I know you held off, in honor of Ivar, and there it goes. Love, thank you very much. Um, Let me just show you one more of these things. There you go. Here's from the London 2015 user group meeting. You know what kind of music was playing when Ivar made this. Oh, Jorge, thanks so much for sharing that. A message from Gabriel. Oh, Aphex Twin, probably. I'm laughing like I know what that is. Oh man, um, that was Ivar. Let me show you a little bit more stuff that I found along the way. Um, Something at 120 beats per minute at minimum. Um, Here, oh, one more. You know what? While we're here, one more. This was our Logic NAB party at 2017. Oh wow, I don't know if you can hear that. Hold on, wait. Hold on. By sheer like happenstance, I came across one where Ivar actually included sound. So here we go. This is like perfect. It's like Picasso had his blue phase. This is Ivar going through his fractal phase, I think, and possibly some screen share AO going on. Yeah. Yep, and also in true of our fashion, this went on for 6 minutes, right? I was like, "Hey man, you want to make like a shader for the?" All right. Um, I have some more things that I found that I wanted to share with y'all. Let's just go back to um, this for a second. Yes, this was great. It was 2014 or 2015, also at NAB. 2015 at NAB. We had I think this might have been our first. Um, it might have been our first like big Logic party. I do remember I was, yeah, I think it was the first one, and Ivar couldn't make it, and we were late, and by late I mean like we'd gone over our time, and the staff was asking me to please get everybody out because they had to open up the lounge to the public, and Greg Paul and I think it was Cully and Kristen, maybe Brian Higgins. It was everybody kept saying, "Well, no, we have to do a little thank you to Ivar." Um, and yeah, Greg Paul posted this, which I think this was the last time you posted on Facebook, Greg Paul, but at least it's immortalized forever. And yeah, Darren, right, you were there. It was the first official party, and so here's we got together for a little thank you clip, and here it was. And then we were promptly escorted out of the space uh, for all kinds of shenanigans, I'm sure, which ensued afterwards. I say that like I don't know exactly what happened afterwards, and I'm just trying to protect everybody's innocence. I found a couple more pictures too that I wanted to share. Um, let's see. This was, I guess, yes. You can tell by the hat. It was the same year. Um, there's Ivar and me and Darren, uh, Kristen, DJ. I think John Fegan is just hiding behind someone. He was there. That might be at the top of his head. Greg Paul, I think you were there too, right? 2016. Yep, inside. Where the hell is this? It was Caesar's, the shops, the forum shops at Caesar's Palace. Um, and I'm sure it was like 8:30 in the morning, and that's why we're all drinking or something. But yes, that's right. GP, this was the year that somehow Fegan's hair caught on fire just after the Logic party, I believe. Um, it's always a very interesting perspective being the host of the Logic party because you hear about what's happening outside the Logic party. Uh, but I think this was also from the same year. Ivar like won big here on a penny machine, and he, there was like 2 years in a row. There was one. I mean, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was like every year we would have a meetup of all the beta testers in this bar at the Venetian, if I remember correctly. The one where every year we went, the same waitress was there, and every year we would see her, and it was like time moved at a different speed for this individual. Like she was aging rapidly, and we of course, did not. Yes, downstairs at the Venetian, it was like the public house or something like that. Ivar was bombed out of his mind drunk there. I remember he bought everybody. He paid the whole bar tab, um, which was a beautiful, beautiful gesture. I don't remember if it was the same year or the year after. Yes, that's right. He won big and he proceeded to buy everybody's drinks for the rest of the day. And that was Ivar Beer, man. He was just going to share the love. Um, I think this was the year of the Matchbox Rocks shirts. So there's Cedric and me and Ivar and Jay. We all presented, or they presented. They actually did work and presented at the Autodesk booth. I was just the MC. I was just the host, telling jokes and bullshitting. Um, and doing what I do, doing what I do best. Uh, but that was definitely this was 2015. I know because it says it on the back of my shirt. And and then I think after that, Ivar came to New York and stopped by our office at Lively. Anybody who works at Lively or has been there recently recognizes that the fridge is the same, but the floor is different. Um, and I was trying to date this photo not by my glasses or significant body weight at the time, but by what phone I had. That's usually the giveaway. But surprise, surprise, Ivar showed up. He had another Stussy shirt that he wanted to wear and show everybody, but he just wanted to stop by and say hi. And this I wasn't here for this picture. I found it, and it just kind of, I don't know. I can hear his voice behind the glasses, and I like to think he was paying tribute to smiling the way I do here. Um, yeah, bagels in the it was like bagels and beans or something, right? Yeah, bagels and beans. So if anybody knows where this is, I'm guessing it might have been like at an IBC or something like that. But yeah, um, does anybody else? I have a couple more things I can share or show, but I wanted to ask if anybody else wanted to come on and share a memory or say something about Ivar. Um, just give a holler in the chat or the little hand raise icon, and I'll bring you on. Oh, thank you, Gustav. You like to listen to me. That's a long list. Um, there's somebody here where I just saw his name, Ansgar. You posted a picture of Ivar in Logic that I thought was so stunningly beautiful. And I wanted to just share that with everybody. Hold on. Bring that up here. Let's see if I can manage to do this right. No. Yes, there we go. I saw this either last night or this morning, and I thought it was just absolutely uh, beautiful. Yeah, don't worry was certainly his motto. Yeah, Ansgar, can I bring you on? Can you tell the story of Copra? Okay.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, great. Okay, so sorry, no video for me, but that may be in the best Ivar style because each and every Zoom meeting that we had, he always had his video off, and he told everybody like, "Oh, today my camera is not working, so I'm really sorry for that." But he did want to show his face, so yeah, thanks Andy for sharing those memories. So for me, it was really still hard to talk about it because for the last days, yeah, you can imagine what went on over here. Oof, sorry. So yeah, you guys asked about Cobra. So actually, that's the first thing that I remember when I joined the Cine Post production back in 2008, because then the work on Cobra was full underway. I think the guys started in 2007 with a system that they wanted to have in-house for sharing small video clips, QuickTime files, etc. And instead of just attaching them to email, they wanted to have a proper service for that. So after looking around and finding nothing, they decided to build their own thing. And Ivar was, of course, the driving force behind that. So yeah, basically Cobra was his brainchild, and then the iPhone came out in I don't know 2010 maybe. So of course Ivar wanted to have an app, so he made all the sketches for that and made small animation videos for that, and then he was driving everybody mad with his vision there and his perseverance. So that was also Ivar in his in all his glory. He could really convince you. Or as my coworker Niklas wrote that Ivar asked him, and then in parentheses he wrote, he forced him to design the Don't Worry logo. So yeah, that was Ivar as well. So yeah, and then we worked on the iPhone app, and then when the iPad came out, I still remember because back in those days, Eva basically each and every time a new Apple product came to the market, Eva just simply bought it. So, and I think it only stopped like about 2 years ago, so around that. But until then, each and everything that came out, Ivar simply bought it, and that was the story. And all this old stuff he either gave away or so. I think my first iPad, my iPad 1, the first one I got from Ivar. So, and I still remember that we were sitting in a plane, and he was showing me this weirdly fascinating new device. And of course, he told me that this is the perfect device to watch dailies on. So we will have a Cobra version for iPad. And from there, things took really off. And so yeah, and over the last 2.5 to 3 years, we were working on a new version of Cobra, which we will release in a couple of upcoming weeks. So basically it's already running, but we were still waiting for our backup solution to bring it to market proper. So unfortunately, Ivar can't really see the fruits of his labor there. But no, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like someone said on Logic that his memory's going to live on for forever as long as we have our setups. I mean, everybody who has all his Matchbox shaders scattered through their setups, they'll live forever. So
yes, yeah.
Ansgar, did you ever see Ivar's collection of like old SGI stuff? Because I remember he was pretty vocal about having like one of everything of the old Flame hardware.
Yes, definitely. So I think the last time Jasper and we went to Ivar's place to produce some electronic music, because that was also a thing that we three did together. Of course, the collection of his machines. So basically, if you are in Ivar's apartment, it's like a museum of everything computer. So there's one great memory that he told me, I think 2 times at least, that back in the 80s, he knew that he would be getting a C64 a Commodore. And before getting that for Christmas, he already made a cardboard keyboard. And then he was asked why he did do this. And he told his parents and everybody that wanted to know that he already wanted to practice typing on the keyboard when the C64 would arrive on Christmas Day. So yeah, and in his home, in his apartment, all the SGIs there, nearly every machine that you can imagine, every gaming console, even a Virtual Boy from Japan, the
Oh my
red and
God.
red
I
black.
remember that. Yeah, it was like all red.
Yeah, the monochrome thing from Japan or from the States, I think even. So yeah, and we always made fun of it that one day the whole floor would maybe collapse because of all the weight of all these machines there. So that didn't happen, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. So yeah, that was also Ivar there, collecting all this stuff. And so the space in his apartment was getting less and less. So each time we went there to make some music, it was a little bit more crowded and more cables and more machines. And then I think, I don't know who wrote it, but he was also a great synthesizer and music equipment hoarder. So there's a
Wow.
thing, this gear acquisition syndrome, gas. And Ivar definitely had gas, definitely. So in the last years, all these machines, they got cheaper and cheaper. So today you can buy a synthesizer for, I don't know, 200 to 300 euros. And so Jasper and we were always smiling because every time a new machine came out, we knew that Ivar would basically buy this one. And so, all these machines are there as well. So many things to share. And for the last days, I was driving around in my car and then simply thinking of all these small things connected with Ivar and all these things that we experienced there. As I just wrote, last year we visited the West Coast, and we were at the LA user group meeting, and he was so happy to meet all you guys there and connect with you, and of course he was excited as well in terms of presenting in front of you, and afterwards he was like a small child. Yeah, I think that best describes it.
Yeah, he never lost that that enthusiasm, like
Yeah,
this, like that you have as a kid, that like pure just joy, like sharing for the sake of sharing and discovery for the sake of discovery, and
yeah, exactly that.
that's
Yeah,
that's perfect.
yeah,
Well, thanks, Ansgar. Thanks a
yeah.
lot, man.
Thank
Hmm,
you guys as well.
of course. Um, Anybody else? I don't want to put people on the spot, but I will. um, Julik or Ulik, you want to talk about Matchbox? All right.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Oh yeah, there we are. I'm I'm appropriately dressed for the
Oh,
occasion.
yes.
Um,
Well done.
yeah, it's not as much about Matchbox, I guess. It's more about Ivar, because for me, as for many people, I think I first actually met Ivar in text. I met him on Flame News, as many of us. And for me, actually, most of the people, specifically everybody except Mike and John and Jeff, were just people who I read. I didn't know how they looked, and I didn't know how their voice was, or anything like that, because I've never been to LA, I never been to NAB, I never been to London at that stage yet. And so for me, Ivar was just a guy on Flame News who was super knowledgeable, and he was also really, really behind Luster at the time. And one of the things that fascinated me a lot, even back then in the day, is this whole story about Luster Colorfront Cyborg schism, and like how capitalism intertwines with extremely creative software. And then at a certain point, when I started exploring the Matchbox stuff a bit more, Ivar sort of appeared out of nowhere, and he started doing this amazing work. And this was really a surprise, because I didn't understand why this attracted him so much. And this I only learned in, like, maybe after a year or so of him making all of this amazing stuff. And that's because Ivar was about he really cherished the Amiga demo scene, which I think was also more active in Europe than in the States, or at least was very active in Europe. So for Ivar, I guess doing those shaders is remixing work. It's creating art based on art that was already made, and it's also like encoding visuals in a super compact form, because doing this kind of code, it does really imply that you like the fact that you have the challenge of creating something extremely small, and preferably completely unreadable, that generates a completely amazing image. And because a lot of the shaders that he did, they are remixes, strictly speaking, because at the same time when Matchbox started happening, there was already this website called Shader Toy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And this was also the one of the first years that the WebGL technology started existing, that you could actually run code for the graphics card in the browser. And I guess what Ivar started doing is he started opening all of those shaders on Shader Toy and just started to figure out how they work. And he really has done in incredible stuff. And I remember the first time I met him in person. I think I actually visited Cinepost back then, and it was a really interesting experience, because because I only ever spoke to Ivar on text prior to that. when I met him, he looked completely different from how I thought he would look like. It was like an exact opposite, and we always had an amazing time, even though we're extremely like we were extreme opposites in taste in a lot of things, like even in code, like the way Ivar would write code and the way I would write code, it would be super different because I'm always extremely verbose and super precise, and like I had my share of other people's batch setups in my life. So Ivar was just this crazy creative dude, and he would just, he would just mess around with stuff, and something beautiful would come out of it. And he absolutely loved all sorts of EDM. And I was always about like old instrumental music, and Ivar was all, look, I bought this new drum machine, and I was like, yeah, man, I really feel for you, but in fact I have nothing at all with drum machines, but I felt that it brought him such joy that he really lit up when he was talking about it. And I remember when most of the times he would go to IBC, one of the things that he would be posting online would be pictures of the synthesizers and the drum machines that he would install at his hotel room.
Yeah, Gonzalo in the chat here just wrote. He remembers at an IBC party that Ivar showed him a picture of his room in Amsterdam with. He brought a kilometer of cable with him from Germany. Oh my God!
Yeah, because trains. You can do this. You can do this here. Just go on the train.
I found. Hold on for 1 second. I remember asking Ivar, like about like some of the Matchbox stuff. We're saying, hey, can you write a shader that does this? And there were times he would just go, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing. I copy and I paste and I experiment, and then here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and this was also something I admire this in people. This kind of free creative experimentation, because this is not at all how that's what I guess that's one of the reasons why I made like 2 shaders and Ivar has made 180.
Wait, I found you reminded me. I think it was when you said the Amiga demo. I found his. You can see this, right? Or at least it looks like a frame of white right now.
It looks like a frame of white. Oh yeah, that one.
Yep. This is. Thank you, Ivar. That's exactly what this does.
Yeah. You might need to render this. The real time performance is yeah. Oh, and I'm also sure that Ivar knew that Ivar still had intimate memories of like how to operate a video toaster and things like that, because I'm sure that when this existed, he would have used it, and he would have known how to use this.
Oh,
also there is this picture of him. I don't know if there is anybody in the chat who worked with Ivar like way back, but there is this picture where he is at, I think, his first job, his first visual effects company. I think it was called ExoZ, and he's actually standing behind a super famous German director. I don't remember the name, and they are showing like the power of digital effects to that director, and that was huge back in the day. I think it's Ronald Emmerich there in the picture. I don't remember, but and then I went to Cinepost, and I think I actually did and that was back when Cinepost was still very big, because Cinepost is first thing, something that is unimaginable is that I guess if you look at Ivar's LinkedIn, you will see that he spent nearly 20 years at the same company.
Wow.
And everything that happened to Cinepost, Ivar has weathered somehow. And this was always just unimaginable to me, because in the first place, like a post-production facility, however big and however successful, goes obviously through a lot of stuff, and let's call it for what it is, through a lot of shit sometimes. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he stuck around and that he stayed there. And I remember asking him a few times and like prodding a little bit gently, like, hey, did you ever consider that with all of your talent, maybe you could? And he was, no way. I'm staying in Berlin and I'm staying with those people. And that's super admirable, because Cinepost, as exists today, I think Ansgar can tell more about this, but Cinepost used to be incredibly big, because Cinepost was also like a traditional film lab company. And they had places all over Germany, and they were responsible for a lot of traditional lab processing and also like analog dailies and just analog prints when they existed. For example, one of the things that I remember going on with Cinepost is when the whole digital revolution was happening, and Ivar weathered that out, and he continued doing great work. I remember visiting 2 or 3 different Cinepost locations when I used to go to Berlin to see Ivar, and he was still going strong. And the funny thing is that when we would go with him to hang out somewhere, he would never, as a matter of principle, he would never go with me to a bar in West Berlin. He always insisted on staying on the other side of the wall. He was like, no, man, the Ostkreuz is just better. It's just better. You just play better. I got nothing to search that side of town.
Oh my God.
But I know that place, and we're going to go there. And I remember meeting him, and it was such a great experience, because for some reason, he also, when he really loved something, he stuck to it. And for example, he still remained like a great Luster fan, despite the fact that Luster is pretty much an abandoned product. Yeah. That's right. Also those places. Yeah.
That's amazing. I got a picture from Jorge of Ivar's. He called it Ivar's Toys.
Oh, I want to see that.
Let me see if I can.
I was never invited.
Let's see here. Hold on. Got a couple pictures here I can show. So yes.
Oh my. Oh my.
Actually, I think that might deserve. Let me bring it up and just share my screen here. That way we can zoom in. Hold on. Da-da-da. There we go. Yep. I wonder what his electric bill was a month. Oh, look, there's a Stussy logo on an amp.
Well, you wouldn't be turning all of that on at the same time, would you?
I'm sure he had a.
You would need a lot of heads.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Oh, that looks familiar.
Yeah.
Amazing. I also got I got a picture from Greg Paul of when he and Ivar and hold on, let me just grab it. I think it's on my desktop. And Joel Osis and Kristen were in Montreal. Is that it? Yeah. There it is.
This is very awkward. Looks like a classroom.
Yes. Greg Paul, would you like to come on and describe what we're all seeing here? Record. All right, let me bring on Gonzalo. Hold on. Here we are.
Hi.
Hey, man.
Hey, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
This is a curious story with Ivar, because first time I text him, this was some years ago. We are preparing our second user group here in Barcelona, And I call him and I send you a picture with the t-shirt. And then we make a video chat. And I wore that t-shirt. That t-shirt is saying, I beer, because it's an intelligence beer from Spain. It's a campaign from a beer from Estrella de Galicia. And Ira started to talk to me as, what are you doing with my t-shirt? First time. The first word he told me is, what are you doing with my t-shirt? What? Sorry? Yes, you're wearing my t-shirt. Sorry, I don't understand, my friends. I beer is my name. I said, oh, sorry. Yes, it's true. Okay. But well, if you can share us and our user group here in Barcelona, I'm going to share you a beer. No. My big problem is that my surname is beer, but I don't like the beer. I said, oh my God, what we going to drink here in Barcelona? It was funny, and the story with him is that I keep that T-shirt. It's really, really old T-shirt because I always have the intention to send to him, but it's really small for him, because every IBC party from Logik, I went to visit him to the hotel where he gave us the party, and it was incredible. For sure, IBC is not going to be the same without him, because he was the spirit of that parties. But it's good to have the opportunity to know him. It was good to have the opportunity to talk with him, to spend some time together. And well, it's have a lot of stories, and I have two pictures with Ivar, but I can't find it. But the pose, he never put a normal pose. It's impossible to show the face without strange position of the lips or the tongue. It's impossible to find a normal picture from Ivar. It's amazing.
I admire that. I admire that about Ivar.
Yes, it's always it's the guy with the endless smile.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. But well, it's only that story that I want to tell, that from that T-shirt that I keep in here in my hands. I sent you the picture because it was curious. It was my first talk with him. Is,
oh, there it is.
How are you doing wearing my T-shirt?
I just got it here. Hold on, let me share it.
Yeah, that's a picture that I did it with my phone. Yes, I beard.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a nice story.
That's beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Yes.
And sharing the story.
As I write in the post, he will continue still with us in our comps, in our patch, because it was amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, Andy, for this, and thanks to everyone who is sharing us in this particular event, because he deserves. Thanks so much.
Of course, okay. I agree with you 100%. We loved him.
Right.
I've got Greg Paul. Did you want to share something about that NASA mission control photo?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Milkinus. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I've been in some pretty deep grief for a few days. Ivar was a very friend, and but I spent time with him in three different countries, and what I'll never forget is being in Montreal. Actually, there was the second time I met him, and he would keep doing this thing with his finger where he'd put his little pinky finger up to his mouth and pretend to be Dr. Evil. And I just thought it was the most hilarious and ingratiating thing. And he was so generous, and he was God, he did so much for me, and he did so much for the community. And I mean, literally, the amount of work that I got just because of the work that he did is humbling.
I remember you worked with him on like the Croc Skin, and I think the Croc Lips, and the Croc Beauty, right? All
We
those
worked
things.
on I don't know, probably dozens of shaders together. And I mean, I didn't do anything exceptional. All I did was ask him to do things, and he did them. And you know, he was here at my house a year ago today, and it's just hard. It's hard to grasp all this. You know, I don't mean to be a downer. I probably don't have much to contribute today.
It was beautiful, man. That was did did you say you don't mean to be a daughter? Is
A
there something
downer.
else you want to? Oh, a downer. Oh, okay. I was going to say it's. I mean, I know you didn't want to share, but that would have been a lot of
that
of
would have been
sharing.
that would have been quite a release of information. Yeah.
Those three countries that you spend time with with Ivar, how many of those still have? Do you still have outstanding warrants?
I can
I'm
neither
asking for a friend.
I
It's
can
not.
neither confirm nor deny any of this.
Oh man. Well, thank you for sharing, Greg Paul.
I'm glad
He
to
was
be here,
beautiful.
and thank you for doing this, Andy.
Of course. Christoph, you had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to very quickly share one story which like perfectly encapsulates this generosity and this humbleness. My very first FXP was released, and I was excited as hell. I was nervous as hell how people would receive it, and that was on a Friday night. And on a Saturday morning, I get a text message from Ivar who was like, "Yeah, that's a great course," and I said, "Thanks, man. How many episodes did you watch?" And he was like, "Yeah, I watched it through. I watched all 9 classes of this." And that was so amazing. And I know he wasn't bullshitting me because he could tell me everything about these classes. And it was so great because I was really nervous how this course would be received. And he calmed me down, and he was going like, "No, this is perfect. Let's go with that." And it was so great. And I just met him 2 times before, and that was so generous of him to give me this self-assurance. So I know it's just a quick one, but I wanted to share that one nonetheless.
Oh, that's great, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having this. This is awesome.
Oh, of course.
Really great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, he would always send me messages after, either some of these shows, some of these Logic Live shows, or some of the user groups we would host. It's just beautiful to hear this stuff. So thank you, everybody. I wanted to also share with you. I got a message from Ivar's brother Sven that he wanted me to share with everybody. Let's see. Sven wrote that many thanks to the community for this indescribable sympathy that you have shown our family in this difficult time. The many comments and the overwhelming willingness to donate show us how popular and respected my little brother was. That he made so many people happy with his work, and that he will also be part of their lives in the future staying at work will be a great consolation for us. It is still incomprehensible for us, and also incomprehensible that Ivar has passed away. For the memorial event, I would like to ask you to thank the community on behalf of our family, to express special thanks for the sympathy and the willingness to donate. We cannot express our thanks for the great sympathy in words. I thank you most sincerely for your support during this difficult time, and remain with kind and grateful greetings, Sven Beer. So I got that from Sven this morning. And Jorge, yeah, I remember at least seeing that Ivar would show up to the user groups that you guys did. And I know he did one, there was one in Berlin not that long ago. I did always want to have him in New York. That would have been great. Oh, man. The rock star, Ivar Beer. Well, thank you, everybody, for sharing the memories and Ivar was just a wonderful guy, and just one of the most one of the most genuine human beings I've ever met. I really, really wish that I had an opportunity to spend more time face to face with Ivar. There was. I tried to get to IBC more than once and didn't make it, and certainly hoping to see him um, either at other conventions or if he had made it to the States again. But does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share? Oh, I think I see someone's hand just went up. Let me see here. Sinan, let me bring you on.
Hi, Andy.
Hey, man.
After this message, it's not like easy to talk with the message from the family. Well, I remember this IBC. I think it was 2017. It was us old flame farts like Ivar, of course, me, Eric Schachter, and Inti, and we were like probably very drunk and talking about how we needed a better 3D camera tracker. And there was this new guy, basically, he like young guy, probably it's 30ish maybe. I mean, we're all parts, like I said, 45 to 50. So we're talking about this camera tracker in Nuke, and well, we're a little bit like going, okay, Nuke is better. And this Nuke guy says, would you consider getting a nuke license or getting yourself into the nuke realm? And Ivar goes, you know how big he is. He goes, no. And this guy literally crowds back and says, okay. And we continue to drink and like have fun. I just wanted to put it forward, and I remember him like he was this fun, big and generous guy. Maybe we should like honor his generosity by like I would like to do it, but I don't know who else would help in. Maybe get together and put some work into matchboxes, because Ivar is not there anymore. So we can like share ideas and then maybe help each other and the community to come up with new matchbox shaders. I don't know, man. I'm so happy that you put this together. I met the guy like several times in Berlin and once or twice in IBC, but he was just such a generous soul. Okay, guys.
Oh, thanks so much, Sinan.
Well, he will live as long as he's remembered. So like, let's keep up the weekends.
Totally. Oh, I think it's beautiful. I agree with there are a couple people who have been posting here that we should raise a virtual cup to our friend.
Yeah.
To see if I can. Oh, look at you! You're better prepared than me. Well, I'm so paranoid. I'm gonna spill something on my mini version of Ivar's apartment that I have here on my desk.
Yeah, Greg Paul. I think we should also like owe it to Mark as well to remember him. He was also another
Absolutely.
very generous soul. I mean, those are the like flame guys that we lost.
Absolutely, yeah.
These guys.
Like was just said, we lost Mark like this time last year, or pretty close by, and it's just another example of somebody who, um, gave so much to the community, and again, like their work lives on, every day for us who have their tools and use them every day. I love that idea, Sinan. Let's maybe see if we can get we can get some more Matchbox development going. As a community again, just to honor the contribution. I just want to peek over here to YouTube and see if there's anybody had any questions or anything like that. No, I had one person asking for Thiago. chiming in. Ivar was such an amazing and truly inspiring person, always nice and fun. He'll be missed for sure. Julian wants to bring back the Croc T-shirts. That's something I think we can totally do in Ivar's honor. And Rohan Kokar is saying, thank you for contributing immensely to the Flame family. And then Andy Mineth says, Ivar will be missed a lot, which is all absolutely true. Yeah, Darren's saying he met him twice in person, but always made you feel like an old friend. That's absolutely true. Does anybody know where the Croc thing came from? Either like, as a name or a symbol? Did Ivar ever mention why Croc was the name that he chose for all the matchboxes? That would be interesting to hear.
So I don't really know about why it was Croc, but the thing with the one letter off was the thing for Cobra and for Croc, and also we have another software product called Shark, but with a C instead of a K. So I think that was the line. It always had to be an animal, and then one letter had to be off. So that was kind of his rhythm there. So, but I'm not quite sure why exactly a crocodile. That info is gone with Ivar, I think.
I'd love to ask everybody, what's your favorite Croc shader? Go ahead and either shout it out if you're on mic or throw it in the chat. I know for me, again, I use Croc Beauty almost every day. I've been using Croc depth of field for the last, like on the job, for the last like couple of weeks. It's one of those things where like I could not get the flame depth of field one to work for me. Or no, I could get it to work. It was just while I'm sure it was more accurate, it was a lot slower. And so I was using Croc depth of field. Let's see here. Croc skin, of course, from GP. The noise, yes. Oh, Croc Renoise I would use a lot because of the, I'm gonna have to whisper it because I have a device right outside for the Alexa preset that it has. Croc Distort, beautiful. Man, man, oh man. Let's see. I have here. Let me just share my screen again. Wow, Croc frame guides, totally, Tim. And grid. That's one for me. Yeah, I have here all of the treasures. Oh, and the additive key, totally, because it has my favorite button in the history of software buttons, Joel's version, which I don't know if that exists on any other plugin anywhere. Yep. There's Croc Grid. And yeah, I give Ivar credit for always putting, that you really can't use these for anything where you're making money. Symbols, and I'm sure that everybody followed that to the letter. Amazing, just amazing. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining in, and I wanted to, again, thank everybody for who's donated to the GoFundMe. The information for that is up on Logik if anybody would like it. Um, and thank you for spending some time today to remember our friend Ivar, and just to honor him and honor everything that he's done for us and for the whole community. And it's been said before. I'll say it again. His memory is going to live on as long as we keep having to make beautiful pictures. Um, Thanks to his generosity. So thank you, everybody, and God bless you, Ivar. And we love you and we miss you. And rest in peace, dear friend. So thanks, everyone.